It's always nerve-wracking when you have an inspection, so it kind of like just totally slipped my mind. I'm not used to recording on a job site, so I went ahead and I framed this window in, got everything sheathed, I house wrapped it. What else? We did pass the inspection, so that's good. I don't have to worry about anything. I also framed in the front of the garage here. I'll show you on the back side. I left one stud bay open so that way I can get drywall in. I'm working by myself, and pulling the drywall and then getting it flat over there is just going to be too much work. So being able to slide it right through there and going through the house would have been super inconvenient. So that's going to be open until we get all the drywall in. Obviously this is just framed out for a garage, so the header is huge. We didn't have to touch that at all. We just put our new concrete pour in here. I also used a concrete sealant along the edge there just to make sure it's nice and watertight. And we put our new base, our bottom plate in there, PT, and we used ledger locks to lock that into the new concrete we poured. And then framed out our window, centered. It's gonna be a nice, awesome, huge window in the front. It's gonna be a lot of light for this small area, so it's gonna be pretty nice. But today's deal is, since this is a slab foundation and it's a step down into the garage, we are going to raise up the floor. It's a pretty significant thing you have to do that. But basically we have to rip our 2x6s down minus our flooring, and then we will have roughly the same height as the slab itself in the house. So I'm gonna get to that. We got a lot of ripping to do. And then I picked up some insulation. We're gonna insulate the floor just to make it nice and cozy in here. So since I'm gonna be putting insulation on the ground here with the concrete, I'm gonna be putting some UGL dry lock on there. So I gotta clean this off real good, scrape off any of that junk, and then basically I'm gonna blow it and then vacuum it. That way we have a clean slate, and I'm gonna lay this down. It's basically a paint, but it seals the concrete. That way your insulation won't mold. I just measured our gap to the bottom of that door to the ground, and it's 5.5. So with our, I think it's 3/4 inch subfloor, we have to rip our 2x6s down to hit that, to make it a flush floor. We're going to rip all those down while this is drying, so it's going to be a perfect use of our time. If it was wet and I didn't measure it, I'd be out of luck. Alright guys, so I just rolled a second coat of that dry lock on there. It's about 3:30, ruined the rest of the day. Come back tomorrow, freaking throw these floor joists on the ground, got them all ripped here, ready to go. Get that in there and get some insulation and cover it up. Then all we gotta do, frame that bathroom in. Alright you guys, back at it next morning. Nice 2 coats dry on this thing. Alright, with these 2 coats, we got really good coverage here. Super excited to get this thing framed out. Freaking wicked cold here. It's like 37 degrees right now. Fall. But it was like 34 when I woke up. I was like, what? But not worried about it. We're gonna get after it, stay warm. So one thing here that's gonna be a pain in the butt is the fact that we have to come up 5.5 inches, and that so basically that bottom plate is our height, but I'm ripping our 1x6s to go up basically about halfway on that, because we have the 3/4 inch decking. So on these little sills here where the concrete is, I'm gonna have to do like a half 2x4 or whatever to get that covered. So we're gonna have to rip some more wood there, but we'll get it done. Alright, so everything's laid out. I just used the blocks on the edge to get our 16 on center, 14.5 pieces. Looks nice. I'm gonna nail it all in now. So over here on this back wall, this is gonna be the bathroom, and we're gonna have the toilet here and a sink here, door opening in this way here. So this is gonna be advantech here, 3/4 inch. We're putting a toilet there and like I think an 18-inch vanity there. I marked out our toilet, I think it's about 20 inches or 24 inches from the wall, and then 34 inches from the center of the toilet to the center of the vanity. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna add some blocking. We're just gonna do flat blocking. It's gonna be more than adequate. Nail that in, and I'm gonna give myself plenty of space to make sure we hit it no matter where we land this. And with the bathroom, it's gonna land on this ceiling joist down to the stud. It's gonna be perfect, and then coming right over. All right, so I just used some plywood strips to put on that plate right there to match up with this height on both sides. And now what I'm gonna do is start insulating. Let's do this. We're using R19 rolls. We're using rolls over bats because this is over a wall height. So this will let us customize it and then minimize the cutting and the small pieces. So. All right guys, I'm using my siding nailer just because these nails, you hold way more in a siding nailer than my single clip framing gun. And I think they're like 2.5 and ring shank treated. So let's finish this up. Let's go on the walls. All right, so I just got my measurement from the deck of this floor that we just installed. Pretty mint. I think it looks pretty darn good. Excited. Moving forward, it's starting to look like a room. We've seen some windows, but I'm gonna get a second person to do that because that's a 4x6. I'm not doing it by myself. So another day. We're at what, 91 3/4 here. So minus your 3 for your top and your bottom, and we're just gonna nail right into our studs up here. Through the strapping, basically. The 3-inch nail will get through it, it'll be fine. And then obviously in the floor also. All right, let me explain this. This is gonna be this outside wall here. So starting from the exterior of the house, we have our 16 on center, and then we get over to the end, and I added 3.5 extra inches to account for the wall on that side with the door, just because I want a true 6 foot inside, minus the drywall, give or take. But we have our 3.5 inches here, and this is where the wall will sit, right? So we're gonna put another stud here, just on that line. That way you already have a corner for your drywall to mount, and you don't have to do it after the fact. Just a little bit of forethought might make your life a little bit easier. All right, so this is a nice and tight fit. I'm having to bang it in there. It's standing by itself right now. It's almost in place over there. What I'm gonna do is plumb that up, and then I'll tack that in, and then I'll get our measurement from the wall to there, and then I'll copy that onto this one, tack the bottom in, and then plumb that up, and that'll be perfect. Man, that freaking wall was tight up on that joist. Took a little bit of beating to get in there, but it's not going anywhere. Just gonna cut off this bottom plate here. Obviously we don't need this. All right, you guys, hit it hard today. Just under 6 hours, I was able to get this floor and this wall in. It's starting to feel like a room. It's gonna be pretty freaking sweet. Let's check it out.